When you have diabetes, it can be hard to figure out what kind of food you should eat and what you should never eat. And fish are the same way. Fish is often seen as a good source of protein for people with diabetes. They have a lot of omega-3 fatty acids and other nutrients that can help with diabetes-related inflammation. Studies have shown that eating fish can improve insulin sensitivity, blood glucose control, and the chance of developing diabetes. But sadly, not all fish are made the same. Some kinds of fish get sick from mercury, microplastics, and gasoline, which are very dangerous to our health. Also, fish can be raised on farms in ways that greatly reduce the amount of nutrients they have. And all of this can make your diabetes worse. So, which fish are safe to eat? Which one should you stay away from? Keep watching. In this video, we'll talk about the 5 best and 5 worst foods for people with diabetes. You'll also learn what to look for when you buy fish to make sure it can be eaten. But before we get started, we'd really appreciate it if you like this video. Ring the bell to get alerts in the future, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for more video updates. Now, let's take the fish out of the water and look at the 5 fish that are bad for diabetics, beginning with number 5. King mackerel is a fish that lives in salt water and is popular among people who like to eat fish. It is used in sushi and other fancy meals. You can also buy it at the grocery store, either fresh or in a can. There is a lot of protein, vitamin B12, and omega-3 fatty acids in a dose of king mackerel. Among other nutrients, selenium. These nutrients are important for diabetics because they can help lower the amount of fat in the blood. A small study with only 15 people found that after 2 weeks of eating mackerel fish, amounts of both triglycerides and total blood cholesterol went down. So if king mackerel is good for people with diabetes, why is it one of the worst types of fish to eat? Well, especially king mackerel caught in the Pacific Ocean have a lot of mercury. Mercury is a heavy metal that can be found in some fish. It can cause food poisoning, blood poisoning, inflammation, and birth problems in women who are pregnant. A look at 34 studies showed that diabetes mellitus is more likely to happen if you are exposed to mercury. In brief, king mackerel can make it hard for you to control your diabetes. There are different kinds of mackerel, but if you have diabetes, it's best not to eat this kind of fish at all. Number 4, shrimps, even though officially they are crustaceans. Shrimp are on our list of fish because they are one of the most commonly eaten seafoods. And if you like shrimp, you probably eat it often during the holidays when you go out to eat. But shrimp have many bad things about them, especially for people with diabetes. This crunchy orange fish is high in protein, but it is also high in dietary LDL cholesterol and chemicals. A study found that both LDL and HDL levels go up when you eat shrimp. LDL cholesterol is considered good cholesterol, but too much of it can be bad for people with diabetes. The group for diabetes points out that people with diabetes are more likely to get heart disease if their cholesterol levels are out of balance in any way. Additionally, shrimp farming is not controlled and is often polluted with food additives and pesticides. A study of Thai farmers found that those who were overexposed to chemicals were more likely to have diabetes. So, while more information is needed to figure out how shrimp can make diabetes worse, it is best to limit how much when you have to. Choose something that was grown in a way that is good for the environment. Number 3, tilapia. It is the 4th most popular type of fish in the US. Tilapia is a type of fish that lives in clear water and is white. It has a lot of protein, vitamin B12, and omega-6. This type of polyunsaturated fatty acid has been the subject of much debate because eating too much of it has been linked to making inflammation worse. To get good fats into our bodies, omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids need to be in the same amount as omega-3. However, studies have shown that eating tilapia lead to an uneven ratio, which can be bad for people with diabetes. A 2016 study found that an imbalanced ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 increased inflammation and the dangers of being overweight. And if you have diabetes, inflammation can make your blood sugar levels much worse, increase your heart disease risk, and cause insulin resistance. So, tilapia seems to not only cause long-term inflammation in people with diabetes, but also dangerous Experts have seen that tilapia fish are often raised on farms using harmful chemicals and animal feces, increasing the chance of getting diseases from food and major problems with long-term conditions. Several FDA reports even said that shipments of tilapia don't always meet health and safety guidelines. So, if you have diabetes, should you stay away from tilapia? Absolutely. Number 2, eel. Yes, eel is not eaten as often as other fish. Still, you can find it in sushi, smoked fish platters, and other Japanese foods. Eels are long fish that look like snakes. It is full of protein, vitamins A, B12, and D, and is good for your health, even though these vitamins and minerals are important for diabetics. The TSW Foundation has told people to stay away from eels. Eels are not raised in a way that is good for the environment, and the polychlorinated biphenyl is an example of a pollutant. Polychlorinated biphenyl is a drug that was made by people and has been shown no increased glucose and diabetes risk. An Italian study of 527 people with pre-diabetes with a high concentration of polychlorinated biphenyls. Experts saw that the risk of glycemia and diabetes went up. Also, eel that hasn't been cooked has toxins in it that can make people sick. So if you like Asian and Japanese food, you should be careful about eels. It is a type of fish that is not controlled very well and might not even be good for your health. Worse, it could make you drunk and have a bad effect on your diabetes. So be sure to stay away from it. Number 1, tuna. Yes, you might be shocked to learn that tuna is the worst fish for people with diabetes. Tuna is one of the most common and inexpensive fish you can buy. And like some of the other fish we've already seen, tuna is full of protein, vitamin B12, and omega-3 fatty acids. So why should you not go there? No matter what you drink, yellowfin, albacore, big eye, and light tuna, there is more mercury in tuna than in any other fish. Scientists think that this is because tuna eats small fish that already have heavy metals in their bodies. As we've seen, people with diabetes should stay away from mercury, as it makes people more likely to get heart problems. A study of 1,800 guys found that those who ate a lot of fish with a lot of mercury in it were twice as likely to die from a heart attack or cancer of the heart. Additionally, a study found that being exposed to bisphenol A, a chemical found in canned tuna, makes type 2 diabetes problems more common. All the tuna and the other fish we've seen so far are the worst. It seems to be bad for your health and for your diabetes, mostly because they aren't controlled and are full of toxic chemicals that could make your situation worse. So it's best to stay away from these 5 worst fish. Fish in general has important nutrients that can help you control how well insulin works and how much sugar is in the blood. And we're going to talk about the 5 best foods for people with diabetes. Plus, you'll find out the real reason why type 2 diabetes, obesity, and heart disease are growing at a worrisome rate. And they found out what really works to keep these diseases away. Let's get into this. Are the 5 best fish for diabetics? Number 5, cod, is a type of white fish that is thought to be slim. It has a light taste and is low in calories, and a great place to get lean protein, vitamin A, vitamin B12, calcium, and iron. When diabetic eats a good amount of lean protein, their blood sugar levels go up after a meal. This is because glucose isn't made from lean protein as quickly as it is from carbs. Cod and other lean proteins have less total fat than meat proteins. Because of this, they are less likely to. Insulin resistance researchers found that patients with pre-diabetes who ate cod for 4 weeks became more sensitive to insulin. But you don't have to eat cod to get the health benefits of this food. Another study found that eating cod liver oil for 4 weeks lowered both the amount of glucose in the blood and the amount of fat in the blood. So go ahead and add cod to your diet. The best is Atlantic cod, but be careful because cod is an endangered species because it has been overfished. Number 4, trout. Especially for diabetics, the statistics on rainbow trout are looking good. They are caught in lakes and streams and have a mild, sweet flavor. Rainbow fish are a good source of protein, vitamin D, and different types of vitamin B. Vitamin B such as B1, B6, and B12 is important for diabetes as it speeds up the metabolism and helps break down sugar. But unfortunately, people with diabetes often don't get enough vitamin B. People with diabetes mellitus have been found to be more likely to not have enough vitamin B12 and have other problems. Another study says that up to 22% of people with diabetes don't get enough vitamin B. So, can rainbow trout help make up for a lack of vitamin B? Perhaps. Rainbow fish has up to 29% of the recommended daily amount of B3 niacin, 28% of the recommended daily amount of B5, and 121% of the recommended daily amount of B12. Pretty amazing for just one piece of fish, right? Trout is a great way to get enough vitamin B and avoid the shortage that diabetes can cause. So, make sure you're eating this fish. Number 3, sardines rich in sardines, protein, omega-3, vitamin B, and calcium. Sardines are another type of fish that you can eat if you have diabetes. Diabetes is made worse by calcium, as this mineral helps insulin get out of the body. Researchers have found that a lack of calcium can cause a buildup of fat, an excess of hormones, and insulin resistance. Thankfully, you might not get too little calcium if you eat sardines. One dish of sardines has the same amount of calcium as a glass of milk, but without the milk, even more. A study done in Spain found that if you eat sardines often, you can reduce the risk of developing diabetes. After 152 older people with pre-diabetes ate 2 cans of sardines every week, they did not get diabetes. Lastly, sardines have been found to have a low amount of mercury, so they are safe and healthy to eat if you have diabetes. Number 2, herring is another fish that is good for people with diabetes and that you might want to eat more of. Similar to sardines, herring is a small fish that is often caught in ponds in the wild. Herrings are rich in vitamin D, omega-3, and selenium. This fish has a lot of anti-inflammatory qualities because of this. When omega-3, EPA, and DHA fatty acids and selenium are put together, it has been shown to be effective at lowering lipid levels and free radicals, oxidative stress, and inflammation in the body as a whole. A study that was done in Alaska found that people who didn't eat fish often were more likely to get diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. The study found that low amounts of EPA and DHA in the blood had a big effect on these results. Also, it was found that eating omega-3 and selenium every day cuts down on the signs of inflammation that are linked to diabetes. So make sure you eat a lot more fish. Number 1, salmon. If there is one fish that is low in mercury and high in all the nutrients diabetics need, it's salmon. It's for sure a fish. Protein, vitamin B, vitamin D, and calcium are all present potassium omega-3 fatty acids. Salmon has been studied in a lot of studies that have looked at diabetes. And for good reason, this well-known fish has been shown to lower blood fats, reduce inflammation, and lower the risk of diabetes problems. A study of 4,105 people showed that regularly eating salmon can lower the number of white blood cells, which is often linked to inflammation that lasts for a long time. A smaller study also found that eating fatty fish every day for 4 weeks, like salmon, decreased triglycerides and HDL cholesterol. There are 2 indicators that affect inflammation and insulin resistance. So, should you eat more salmon and other rich fish? Absolutely. Overall, the TA Association says that fatty fish should be eaten twice a week. It's also important to make sure that the fish you choose is raised in a sustainable way or caught in the wild. By eating fish regularly and in small amounts, you might be able to control your diabetes better and get enough of the foods you need. So, make sure you eat some fish. And there you have it, the 5 worst fish for diabetics and the 5 best fish for them. Which one has been a surprise? Tell other people with diabetes what you think in the area below. And don't forget to subscribe to our station and hit that bell button for more video updates. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming to watch. We hope you are having a day that helps you fight diabetes.